Hey guys, I wanted to share something this morning that God has just impressed on my heart. Sometimes we feel that we have to be a certain way before we can come to God. We have to quit doing all the things that we're doing in our life that we know are wrong, and we have to do all of our apologizing, and we have to um, be naturally kind and wonderful before we ever come to Him because we think that we have to be perfect before we come to Him. But the reality is that it's only Him that makes us that way. We can sometimes be nice and kind and sometimes ask forgiveness and not ever come to Him. But the reality is that when we give Him our whole heart, He changes it. And all He asks is for us to come to Him just as we are. I could be a drug addict and in a ditch with a needle still stuck in my arm, and I can come to God and say, I don't want to be this way anymore. I don't have the strength to take this needle out of my arm, but I know that you do. Please help me. We can be laying in bed with someone we're having an affair with, and we can say, I know I shouldn't be here. I don't want to be anywhere else, but I know I'm not supposed to be here. I want you to create a new heart in me. And He says, okay, I will. He says, thank you for giving me permission. That's what God does for us. He takes us just as we are, and He changes us. We don't have to come to Him already changed. We cannot change ourselves. How many have been smokers and quit smoking 20 times in their life and never was able to do it? Or how many quit smoking and think they did it all on their own, but every day it's still a struggle not to go out and buy a pack of cigarettes. When God does something for you, He does it completely. We have to do our part and try to stay as far away from that as possible, but He takes even the desire to do those things out of our hearts. Sometimes it takes time and sometimes it's immediate. It really depends on how willing we are to let Him remake us. But here's the other thing. When we come to Him and give Him our whole hearts, when we come to Him, and even a long time ago, I came to Him and submitted, and He started changing my life, and I hadn't given Him my whole heart. But when we come to Him and we give Him us, when we submit to Him, He takes the old me that I was, and He changes me into His character. And I want to say this. The easiest thing I've ever done is fall in love with God. That's the easiest thing. But one of the hardest things I've ever done is submit to Him. But I want to say this also. Submitting to Him gets easier and easier every time I do it. Every day it gets easier to choose Him. Every day it gets easier to go out there and choose what He wants for my life instead of what I want for my life. It's not a continual struggle with self all the time. It was in the beginning. It's not that way now, and it doesn't mean I've come to this point where I'm perfect. That's not it. But, the world tells us, society tells us that all the things that we want to do just for us are okay. Anything you want to do out there, someone will be okay with it. And there are some really weird things going on in the world, but it's not taboo to smoke, it's not taboo to drink, it's not taboo to get divorced or to sleep around. It's not taboo to have 100 tattoos or piercings. It's not taboo to do certain kinds of drugs. Anything you want to do, you'll find someone in society that thinks it's okay. But that kind of mindset leads to chaos, because when we go out there and do absolutely anything we want to do, we have no guide. We have no baseline of what's right or what we're supposed to be doing. And we lose the part of us that's telling us we shouldn't be doing that. And that's a dangerous thing to lose. But there comes a part in all of our lives where we see the reality of where we are and we have a choice. Do we want to ask God to help us get out of that? Or do we want to turn His voice away and make it harder to hear Him the next time, even though He'll always be calling for us? It used to be second nature for me to get up in the morning and smoke a cigarette. It used to be second nature to me to go out on the weekends and drink with friends. There used to be a lot of things that were natural to me to do. So he takes that nature and he makes it to where we have a dislike for those things. And some of them aren't things that are naturally sinful. Sometimes what you're doing isn't sinful, but it's self-centered, or it's not exactly what he wants you to be doing. You might be. I hear stories all the time of people that are dating someone very nice, they're wonderful people, but they find out at some point that that's not what God wanted for them, and so they start to go and live the life that God wanted. It doesn't mean they were living a sinful life to begin with. It just meant that they weren't on the right path to begin with. But that's what's beautiful about God. He takes our nature and he changes it into something beautiful. And it's not our beauty that he brings out. It's his beauty that shines through us. And he gives us the power to walk away from those things we've not had the power to walk away from. He gives us the power to say, I'm not going to pick up that cigarette again because it's ruining the lungs he gave me. It's ruining the very air in my lungs that he breathed into me. I'm not going to pick up that drink again because it's ruining the liver that he put into my body. I'm not going to go and sleep with that man or woman again because it's hurting the spouse that he gave me. I'm not going to go and be mean to that coworker again because it's hurting that person he created. When we get to the point where we understand that what we do hurts him, it will start to hurt us. And because we tend to be self-centered, that's usually what we pay attention to when we're hurt. But he brings us to the point where it's him we care about most, which means all others are who we care about most. And even though we put ourselves last, which is where we're supposed to be, we realize that he loves us. He loves us just as much as he loves everyone else. He's never going to leave us or forsake us. He wants what's best for us. And when we claim the promise, like Ezekiel 36:26, that he will put a new heart within us, he will take away our stony hearts, he will replace it with a heart of flesh. We cry out to him, create in me a clean heart, O God. He does it. He does it completely. He doesn't do it just one little bit at a time, unless that's all we let him do. He does it 100%. If you're stuck in a sin you know you shouldn't be doing, if you're stuck in a lifestyle, if you're stuck in a choice you don't want to be stuck in anymore, or that you know you shouldn't be stuck in, reach out to him. Say, I can't do this on my own. I don't even want to do it. I don't even want to stop doing what I'm doing, but I know I'm not supposed to be doing it. And I know that you have the power to give me a hatred for this. I know you have the power to break this addiction that I'm in. Go to him, run to him, and he'll say, I've been waiting for you to come to me, and he'll do for you what you cannot do for yourself. And I'll be praying for you as well. And I ask that you pray for me also. None of us have arrived. We're all on this journey, and I hope that we reach the same goal, and that is an eternity with him. Have a very blessed day.